want to talk to you about chasing dreams. And when I was thinking about this and I was just praying about it and asking God, kind of what is it that you want to say? I kind of felt like he was leading me to the point where, everybody has dreams. We have dreams and things that we want to achieve and things that we feel like God has placed in our life and in our minds and our hearts that we want to do. And what I want to talk about today is what happens when everything in your life seems to be contrary to what you feel that God is wanting you to do. When the people that you're surrounded by, you just hear negativity and things are happening that don't fit into the structure of what you feel your dream is or the way that you're going. And I really feel like God wants us to know that in the process of our dreams, we're going to walk through life. We're going to walk through seasons of our life. We're going to walk through ups and downs and all twists and turns. But we have to remember that everything that we walk through, everything that we go through, it could be that very thing that's leading us to fulfill our dreams. We have to remember that we have an enemy who comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And he wants to do that spiritually. He wants to do it physically. But he also wants to do that emotionally and mentally. And I felt like the Lord led me to the story of Joseph. And if you look at Joseph's life, he's a perfect example of something that I want to just talk about. He had dreams. God gave him dreams. He was 17 years old. And, when we're 17, we're young. We want to tell everybody. We want to just be excited. And he was 17 years old, and God gave him dreams about his brothers bowing before him. And he went, and he was so excited, like any teenager would be, and be like, listen to these dreams I had, and what God's going to do in my life. And his brothers became angry with him, and they, and everybody knows the story. He found his brothers, and they put him in a pit, and then he got sold into slavery. He got sent to Potiphar's house. He was falsely accused. He was put into prison. And I really felt like God showed me that Joseph really had a reason. The moment that his brothers put him in that pit, and the moment that process starting to be contrary to his dream or what God had showed him, Joseph could have very well became bitter and angry, and he could have been like, what, if this is what this is, I'm not going to do it. And he could have allowed those emotions to really just enthrone his life to the point where it stripped away the dream that God had put in his heart. But what Joseph did is he actually held on to his dream. And even when he was in prison, the chief baker got put into prison, and he interpreted a dream for the chief baker, and he's like, hey, when you get out, you're going to be saved. Go to let Pharaoh know what I've done so I can get out of this dungeon. And the chief baker forgot. And you would think that the chief baker would have been so excited that his life was saved that he would have told Pharaoh, hey, there was this guy in the prison and he interpreted my dream. And that did happen. But it was 2 years later. It was 2 years after the baker got saved that Pharaoh then had the dream. And he said, hey, you know what? I remember I was in prison. This man interpreted my dream, because at this point Joseph was 30 years old. And this man interpreted my dream, and he can interpret your dream. So Pharaoh brought him out of prison. And that's when Joseph was set up in Pharaoh's house and, did the leading. And then we know the story from there. But everything that Joseph went to from the point that he was 17 until he was 30 years old was contrary to the dreams that God had given him. He went through some very malicious situations, some things that, today, well, that person, that negative word, or that negative thing happened to me, or this situation is not right, or I'm facing so much adversity that there's no way my dreams can be fulfilled. And it felt like God just wanted to encourage everybody that he works everything for the good. And that when God gives you a dream, you hang on to that dream with everything that's inside of you. And regardless of what you're seeing with your eyes, or regardless of what is happening in your life, regardless of what people close to you or not close to you are speaking over to you, you have to remember that the enemy uses situations to try to steal, kill, and destroy. And if you allow those things to root bitterness and anger, they're dream killers. So don't do that. And even Joseph said to his brothers after his father died, his brothers came to him and said, "Oh, now that our father's died, you're going to be angry with us." And Joseph said this to his brothers. And this is in Genesis 50:19 and 20. And he said, "And Joseph said unto them, Fear not, for I am not in the place of God. But as for you, you thought evil against me, but God meant it unto good, to bring to pass, as it is this day, to save much people alive." And what if the things that you're going through in your life that could easily bring you down, could easily cause your dreams to be stolen? What if those things are the very things that God wants to use to bring you to the place that you need to be season after season in order to fulfill the dreams in your heart? Hang on to your dreams. Don't let them go. No matter what is said, no matter what is done around you, hang on to your dreams with all your heart, because God will bring everything to your good and your dreams will be fulfilled. Have a blessed day.